Clutch Trucker filmed before a live studio audience. Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. Main thing I want to talk about in this video, I got hung up at this DHL receiver in Bowling Green, Kentucky for 18 and a half hours. Ah! Yeah, I'm not even exaggerating. 18 and a half freaking hours. Okay, I was late. I had an issue I had to deal with. We won't even get into that. So I was late, okay? So I got there, what would this be? Thursday at 4 p.m. A huge line of trucks waiting to check in. I finally checked in at the guard shack there, probably about 5. And, you know, of course they said, well, you're late. Me. You know, I'm like, I know, I realized that I had an issue, you know, so I realized I'm going to be a work-in. The dreaded work-in. So they at least took my paperwork and took down my phone number, which I took as a fairly good sign, because that meant at least they were going to take me, I thought, that night and get me unloaded at some point, instead of just turning me away and saying, well, you have to get it rescheduled. Well, we tried to get it rescheduled, actually, initially, but they didn't have any other appointments for that day or the next day. Due to this holiday weekend we're on. Memorial Day, isn't it Memorial or Labor Day? I always get those two confused. It's Memorial Day in May, right? Yeah, I had to look it up. It's Memorial Day. I don't know why. For all of my life, I've always gotten those two confused. I can't ever remember which one's in the spring, which one's in the fall. But anyway, yes, Memorial Day weekend is this weekend. So anyway, so it was the dreaded work-in. So I figured, well, hopefully, maybe within 4 or 5 hours-ish, maybe they'll finally call me and tell me to go to a door. They have a little parking area, a newly paved parking area that they didn't have the last time I was there, which tells you something's changed at this receiver, or shipper if you're picking up, and things are going much slower, so they had to make it a parking area for all the trucks who have to wait now. It's like I say, that wasn't there last time I was there. So I go find a place to park, and I kind of hang out for couple hours, and I talked to my wife and everything, and then I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to sleep. They took my phone number. Hopefully they'll be calling me. Not a word. Yeah, no, they never called. So about 5 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning now. Remember, I got there at 4 p.m. Thursday, so we're already at 13 hours. I walk on back over to the guard shack. There wasn't a line of trucks or anything, and said, hi, look, you've got my paperwork in there. I've been waiting for a call all night to be a work-in. And, of course, now I'm dealing with new people who just came on shift, and they found my paperwork. Well, I just came on shift, and and, to me, everything they say at that point just sounds like, na-na-na-na-na-na, pee-pee-pee-pee-pee, you are a loser, anyway. And so finally, after dealing with her for a little while, she says, okay, she did give me a door. She said, okay, yeah, door 71, go to door 71. And I'd been there all night. There's no bathroom facilities available for us. I've said this before in videos. Criminals are treated better than truck drivers many times. You hold me hostage all night. You don't even give me access to a bathroom or an outhouse of any kind. Makes me violent. Okay, so I go back to the truck, I roll back in through the gate, go over to my door 71, I back in, and they make you unhook, they make you dolly down, blah, 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 so I do all that, and I'm just sitting there waiting, and, and it's one of those where they're not going to call you when they're done. No, you have to watch the lights. So, well, once the light turns green when you're backing in, it'll turn to red when they're unloading, and when it goes back to green, you're done, you can come back around here to the guard shack. So, you're constantly sitting there looking in the mirror for those lights, and of course it never goes to red. I got in my door at about 6:15, something like that. And it's raining at this point. I've been dealing with rain for days. I don't know what's been going on with that. I seem to be in every storm going across the country. And at least across the parking lot from where I was backed in the door, there's a little job Johnny over there. I posted a little thing on Instagram yesterday about this, so I'll show you that. A rainy day here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, Friday the 28th. I've been here since yesterday afternoon at 4. I was late, I had some issues, but God forbid, you know, you're ever late as a driver. Shippers and receivers can be late all the time. Been 16 hours so far. At least there is a job Johnny on site. Once I finally got backed into a door, I was able to use that. Because I've been here for 16 hours. So at least was able to run over there and do my business. And then after I got done with my business, then I talked to my wife. And it started raining hard again. And so then once the rain lightened up a little bit, I took Rusty out so he could do his business. There's no signs, and they didn't say anything about no pets on the property, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yeah, Rusty, leave him a nice little present here in the grass, would you please? Leave him a nice, big, steaming present. So Rusty, being the nice, loyal dog that he is, yeah, he left him a couple of nice steaming piles. It's little things, you know, that you have to do in life. But anyway. So, yeah, and so I waited and waited. I was in that door 3 hours and 15 minutes before they finally decided to start unloading. Once they started unloading, it only took them 45 minutes. But I didn't get out of there till 10:30. 4 p.m. Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Friday, 18 and a half freaking hours. I had another load I was supposed to pick up in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, down east of Nashville is where that is, off of I-840. Luckily, that one had kind of a window, and we told them when we booked the load, we said, we know we're running late on this other one, so we don't know how long they're going to hold us up. So I hope to be able to pick it up Thursday night. You know, can I pick it up Friday morning if need be, or Friday midday, whatever? And they said, yeah, that's no problem. Of course, you know, I get down to that one finally once I'm done, because as soon as I leave there at 10:30, it's an hour and a half down from Bowling Green to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Get down there at noon, I check in, and again, I wait. Yeah, it was about 5.5 hours of waiting there. You know, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning, and then now I'm waiting at this place 5.5 hours. I tried to go lie down, and, you know, I slept for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. Then they finally got me done, and I got out of there like 5:30ish. Luckily, there was a Love's right across the highway, so I rolled over there. Here's the advantage of being on paper logs. I didn't have to show rolling over there, because if it takes less than 7.5 minutes, since I do everything in 15-minute increments, I didn't have to show that time rolling over to the Love's. So I was able to roll over there, use their bathroom, take Rusty out, and then I had to work on my trip pack. I got to turn in my trip pack every week with my bills and my logs. So I was working on that, and then a guy comes walking around up to my truck, and he says, "Hey, are you Clutch Trucker?" And I'm like, "Yep, that's me." And this guy Eddie, and we talked for quite a while. I got some video of Eddie. I like to get video of anybody who wants to come up and say hi. I always say, "Hey, let me get some video of you. I'll throw you in my video. Why not?" So here's Eddie. All right, here's Eddie. He came walking over and said, "Hey, aren't you Clutch Trucker?" And I said, "Yeah." So we've been sitting here chatting for a few minutes, and looks like you got your pack on. You're about to run in and get a shower.
Yeah, I finally shut down. Just dropped off at the Nissan Collision over here, which is pretty nice. The Love's right across the street, so it works out pretty good.
This is a brand new one. I've never been to this one before. So
I've only been here a couple times, normally just passing through, but I noticed it was here when I had to drop off over here, and I was almost out of hours. And so they're like, just go ahead and stop here.
So, and you drive for Warner, right?
Yeah, for Warner.
Gotcha.
About 10 months now.
All right. Eddie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. It's awesome. Thank you for the hours of service videos and all the other ones you've gotten now.
No problem.
It's helped out a lot.
So at that point, you know, since I didn't have to show rolling over there to that Love's, I went ahead and waited out a 7-hour break, because I was so close at that point, I might as well, for the split sleeper berth, so that then I could stop that 14-hour clock, because at this point now, it took them so long to load my load. I picked up down there in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. It's going all the way up to Raymond, New Hampshire. It's like 1,150 miles away. So I needed to be able to drive all through the night, which is what I did, and I'm parked here now at the TA in Greencastle, Pennsylvania. It is Saturday, the 29th of May, and I'm parked now, and I'm going to get up tonight and drive through the night again to finish my drive to get up there to the Walmart in Raymond, New Hampshire. So that'll be about an 8-hour and 15-minute drive, so that I can get there and do that one. So I wanted to wait out that 7 so I could stop my clock, stop my 14. I could have done it with a shorter one too, granted, because, you know, if you watch my hours of service videos, and I talked about that loophole and everything, that both periods stop your 14 as long as the first one, either one is at least, one of them is at least 7 hours and the other one is at least 2 hours, or both of them total 10. Okay, so I was so close to 7, I'm like, well, let's wait that out. So I did that. And now once I'm parked here, I'm going to do more than a full 10, which you can legally do. They can't tell you, oh, now you just have to do the 3 and then you have to get going again. They can't force you to drive. No. So, yeah, I'll show you on my log here real quick. Of course, all that time I was sitting there waiting, I don't really have to show anything. I was in the sleeper berth. And moving over to the dock, I don't have to show that again because it was less than 7.5 minutes. So I just showed at 10:15, I showed pre-trip Bowling Green, Kentucky. All right, then I showed driving down to Mount Juliet, Tennessee for load, and then I showed my 7 off right there. And then I went ahead and drove over to, I took a break in Crossville, Tennessee for just 15 minutes. All right, and see, that was my 7 right there, by the way. Then I took a break in Knoxville, and I went in and grabbed a shower. And then after my shower, I go back down here to On Duty Fuel, Knoxville, Tennessee, and then drove the last hour until midnight, and we look at the next day's log. And that's today. Then took a break at 4:45 this morning in Timberville, Virginia, a little rest area. I took Rusty out real quick. I went to the bathroom, and then now here I am parked in Greencastle, Pennsylvania at 6:30 is when I got here this morning. And then I'm going to get on the road again tonight and finish the drive. So that's showing taking advantage of that split sleeper berth. And to finish it out, yeah, I really only had to do a 3-hour break. You know, going from 6:30, I could have gotten back on the road at 9:30 if I wanted to, but I want to take a full break. It was a long day. I didn't really get much rest, so even though I got up at like, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't get parked this morning until 6:30. That's over 24 hours with a little nap in there. So I'm taking my full break, plus a little bit more. I'll get back on the road tonight by 7 p.m. Central. So I deliver in at a Walmart distribution center in Raymond, New Hampshire. Never been there before. How about that? One of the few places I've never been, because I always tell my wife, I always think, hey, I've never been to this place before, and then I get there and I'm like, oh yeah, I've been here before. I feel like that old Johnny Cash song, I've been everywhere, man, I've been everywhere. Anyway, so anyway, deliver at 5:30 tomorrow morning, Sunday morning in Raymond, New Hampshire. I'll utilize the split sleeper berth again because I know I'll be there at least, it's a Walmart. I know I'll be there at least 2 hours, if not more. And then I've got a pickup in Maine at Poland Springs Water in Hollis Center, I think is the name of the town. About 60 miles up the road. So then once I've done that first little break of the split sleeper, I'll go on up there. I'll pick up that load, and I should be able to make it down to the truck stop I want to stop at in Kittery, Maine, right at the border with New Hampshire. A good little Circle K. Irving is they have those in Maine, Irving truck stops, and that's where I'm going to stop then once I'm loaded tomorrow afternoon. Then I've got 2 stops in the Philadelphia area, both I think ShopRite grocery stores. Not a distribution center or anything, 2 individual grocery stores. That's kind of unusual. So that'll be interesting. So I'm going to go to those 2, and then I'm going to go to the TA in Paulsboro, New Jersey, back across the river, and crash until Tuesday morning when they'll hopefully find me another load. So this week is actually going to be a big one. It's going to be a monster as far as the pay goes. It's one of those rare ones where it's going to be it's over $10,000 gross earnings this week. That doesn't happen a lot. When it does, it's fun when you can see a giant paycheck like that. So hey. Oh, and do have to say, a couple of people did post on, because I posted that quick thing on Instagram about being stuck there for 18.5 hours, and some said, hey, at least you got all that detention pay. No, because I was late. So that is out the window. I see. That's what I always hate about the shippers and receivers. If you're late at all, they use that as the excuse to hold you up there all day because they know they don't have to pay at that point. So who loses? Yeah. Okay, and the only other thing I want to touch on real quick on this video, this has just been, it drives me crazy constantly, makes me violent. I don't understand how people don't seem to understand what that little blue light on their dash is telling them. When your brights are on, you know, you think that little blue light staring you in the face would be a clue. So if this little light right here is on your dash while you're going down the highway in other traffic, what's that little blue light staring you in the face mean? Gee, could it possibly mean your brakes are on? Yeah, it just seemed to keep happening to me driving overnight. Not just four-wheelers, they're a little bit worse about it, but big trucks too. I'd get around a big truck and he's got his brights on. I'm tempted to mount a couple of really, really nasty bright floodlights on the back of the trailer, so if I get in front of somebody and they'd have their brights on blinding me, I can hit a switch and blind the hell out of them back. It would take a little work to do that, but yeah, boy, I'm tempted. I'm tempted, baby. Okay, whew. A little zen, try to be calm. That just drives me nuts. You don't need your brights on the freaking interstate. You morons, you jackwagons. Anyway, this is my way of winding down at the end of the day, so after a really long drive like today, I wanted to go ahead and put a video together just basically so I can wind down, gives me something else to do that's not driving, that's not work, and all that, right, Rusty? And then, of course, Rusty gets his begging strips for helping out. See, I say the word begging strips, and you see he's just all over that. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please comment and like if you would like to, and if you'd like to. Ring the bell for notifications so you know when the new videos come out or when we go live. Don't forget about Clutch Trucker at Instagram, Clutch Trucker at Twitter, and as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you might miss it. Alright, he's done his dogly duties, so now it's begging strip time. Come on, leap a little higher. Oh, go there you go. I kind of gave it to you. You dropped it. Where'd it go? Where is it? Where? Oh, did you find it? Oh, he found it. He found it. Yeah, he'll always find the begging strip. Don't worry about that. Right, Rusty?